President, my distinguished colleagues, I rise on Order 41 and 51. With your leave, Mr. President, I may proceed to read.
Go ahead.
Order 41, Mr. President, a matter of urgent public importance. The matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. Mr. President, Order 51. Notice shall not be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which notice is required except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. Mr. President, my order is taken from a resolution of the Senate on the 20th of November 2024, where the Senate mandated the Committee on Works to carry out an investigation of importance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria on contracts awarded to certain companies by the Ministry of Works. So, Mr. President, I come under the refusal of contractors, including and especially Julius Berger Nigerian PLC, to honor a lawful invitation by the National Assembly. Mr. President, if you allow me, I'll proceed with the motion.
To allow you, you've heard, he made me this morning to tell me about this motion. Is it the view of the Senate that I should be allowed to proceed with a debate on the motion? Please, those in favor, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. This motion is on the refusal of contractors, including and especially Julius Berger Nigerian PLC, to honor a lawful invitation by the National Assembly on the deplorable state of the critical national infrastructure projects. Mr. President, this motion is sponsored by me and co-sponsored by Senator Asuko Ekpenyong and Senator Barinada Mpigi. And I proceed, Mr. President. The Senate notes that on the 20th of November 2024, the Senate mandated the Committee on Works to conduct investigation into the state of road infrastructure across the country. The Senate recalls that in furtherance of the investigative hearings, Julius Berger Nigerian PLC has neglected and refused to honor invitations to provide details of their role in the Odukwani-Itu Highway project, despite receiving substantial public funds amounting to over 18 billion naira. The Senate further recalls that the alarming discrepancies in performance among contractors on these projects, with specific reference to Julius Berger for failing to meet delivery timelines. The Senate recognizes the constitutional powers of the National Assembly under Section 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution as amended to conduct investigations and summon any person or organizations responsible for administering public funds. The Senate further recognizes the power set out in Section 6(1) of the Legislative House Powers and Privileges Act, which empowers the Senate to issue warrants of arrest for persons in contempt of its proceedings. The Senate further observes that the termination of Julius Berger's contract for the Odukwani-Itu Highway project due to demobilization and refusing to accept contract review terms, despite the initial contract value of 54 billion naira and a subsequent request for an upward review from 54 billion naira to 195 billion naira. The Senate further observes the critical need for transparency and accountability in the disbursement and administration of public funds appropriated for these projects. Mr. President, the Senate resolves to condemn the refusal of Julius Berger Nigerian PLC and other entities to honor the lawful invitations of the Senate, which constitutes content of the National Assembly and undermines the National Assembly's constitutional authority. Invoke the constitutional powers of the National Assembly as provided in Section 89(1)(c) and (d) of the 1999 Constitution to issue a warrant of arrest to compel the attendance of the Managing Director of Julius Berger Nigerian PLC at the rescheduled investigative hearing. Direct the Clerk of the Senate to publish this resolution in the Journal of the National Assembly and the Gazette of the Federal Government of Nigeria in compliance with Section 88 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Direct the Committee on Works to continue its investigation into the Odubani to Highway, the East-West Road, and other national projects with a mandate to present a detailed report on the contractors, disbursement, and project status at the appropriate time. Urge the Federal Ministry of Work to collaborate with the Senate in addressing inefficiencies and consider re-awarding contracts of capable entities to capable entities for non-performing sections of critical infrastructure projects in the country. Urge the Senate leadership to engage with the executive to reinforce and necessitate of contractor entity accountability in achieving infrastructure goals under the renewed hope agenda of the Federal Republic, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I so move, Mr. President.
Minority Leader, you can second the motion and then